I couldn't sleep that night. The words on her phone screen burned into my mind, looping over and over like a nightmare I couldn't escape. Last night was unforgettable. I need more of you. Those weren't just casual messages. They were confessions of passion, proof that everything I thought I had with Samantha was a lie. I stared at her as she slept, completely unaware of the storm brewing inside me. How long had this been going on? Weeks, months, years. I clenched my fists, fighting the urge to shake her awake and demand answers. But I needed more than a confession. I needed the truth, undeniable and raw. Morning came, and I watched her go through the motions as if nothing had changed. She hummed softly while pouring coffee, scrolling through her phone with that same distant expression she'd worn for weeks. Had she been texting him? Making plans? "I was thinking of taking you out for dinner tonight," I said casually, testing her reaction. She hesitated for a split second before looking up. "Oh, I actually have to stay late at work. Big project, deadlines and all." Lies. I forced a nod, sipping my coffee as if I believed her. "I understand. Maybe another time." She smiled, relieved. "You're the best." If only she knew what I had planned. After she left, I sat in the silence of our home, surrounded by memories that suddenly felt tainted. The framed wedding photo on the wall mocked me. The vows we exchanged felt like nothing more than empty words now. I needed answers. Real ones. A quick search led me to a private investigator with a reputation for uncovering the worst. I hesitated before dialing the number, but once the call connected, there was no turning back. "Jackson Investigations," a voice answered. "I need proof of an affair," I said, my voice steadier than I felt. "Who's the target?" "My wife." The words tasted bitter, but saying them out loud made everything real. By the time Samantha returned home that evening, I had already put the wheels in motion. She kissed my cheek, acting as if everything was normal. I let her, knowing that soon the truth would shatter the illusion she so carefully crafted. That night, as she showered, I checked her phone again. Deleted messages. Of course. She wasn't stupid. But people always got careless when they thought they were untouchable. And Samantha had no idea that her time was running out. Days passed in agonizing silence. Every moment I spent with Samantha felt like a performance. Her playing the devoted wife, and me pretending I didn't know the truth. But I wasn't just waiting. I was watching. The private investigator worked fast. By the end of the week, he sent me the first set of photos. Samantha wasn't at the office late like she claimed. She was at a downtown restaurant, nestled close to a man I'd never seen before. Their body language spoke volumes. Stolen touches, lingering eye contact, the kind of intimacy she had long stopped sharing with me. I forced myself to look at every picture, to absorb the betrayal. They left the restaurant together, heading toward a sleek black car. His car. The next set of images showed them entering a boutique hotel. No hesitation, no guilt. Just lust. My grip tightened around my phone as I scrolled through the evidence. It wasn't just one mistake. It was a full-fledged affair. I called Jackson. "I need more." "I already have more," he said, his voice grim. "Tomorrow she's meeting him again. I can send you the location if you want to see it for yourself." My heart pounded. "Send it." The message came through minutes later. A high-end hotel, a reservation under his name. Ryan Matthews. I stared at the name, burning it into my mind. The bastard. The next day, I watched her leave, dressed sharper than usual, her makeup flawless. Excitement sparkled in her eyes. Not for me, not for our marriage. I followed her. My hands gripped the steering wheel with white-knuckled fury as she drove across the city, completely unaware that her every move was being tracked. She parked, stepped out, and walked toward the entrance like she belonged there. No hesitation, no guilt. Ryan was already waiting, leaning against the wall with an easy smirk. My stomach churned as I watched her light up at the sight of him. They disappeared inside. I sat in my car, breathing heavily, rage and heartbreak warring within me. I had the truth now, undeniable proof, but I wasn't ready to confront her yet. Not here, not like this. I needed to destroy them both, and when the moment came, I would make sure Samantha never forgot what it felt like to have her entire world ripped away. The plan had to be perfect. I wouldn't just expose her. I would ensure she felt every ounce of humiliation, every drop of agony she had inflicted on me. A confrontation wasn't enough. No, Samantha and Ryan needed to be shattered beyond repair. The next day, I made the necessary arrangements. I contacted the hotel, reserving a private conference room. Money opened doors, and with the right persuasion, the manager agreed to grant me access to security feeds. I didn't want just words. I wanted undeniable, irrefutable proof of their betrayal. That evening, I prepared everything: a large screen, a projector, a neatly compiled folder containing every picture, every text, every intimate exchange between them. This wouldn't just be a confrontation. It would be an execution. Samantha thought she was heading into another night of pleasure. Instead, she was walking straight into her reckoning. At precisely 7:30 p.m., she entered the hotel with Ryan at her side, her hand grazing his arm. I watched from the shadows, anger pulsing through my veins like fire. She had no idea that her world was about to collapse. I waited until they reached their room. Then I made my move. 10 minutes later, I stood outside their suite. My hands were steady, my mind sharper than it had ever been. With a deep breath, I knocked. A few seconds passed before the door creaked open. Ryan stood there, shirt unbuttoned, eyes widening in shock. Who the hell? He didn't get to finish. I shoved the door open, stepping inside. Samantha sat on the bed, wrapped in nothing but a sheet, her face draining of color the moment she saw me. You didn't. I tossed the folder onto the bed. Pages spilled out, photos of them together, screenshots of their messages, undeniable proof of their affair. Her breath hitched. I can explain, I laughed, the sound hollow. Oh, please do. I'd love to hear what excuse you have for screwing your coworker behind my back. Ryan stepped forward, hands raised. Listen, man, Shut up. My voice was ice. This isn't about you. It's about her. Samantha clutched the sheet tighter, her eyes darting toward the evidence strewn across the bed. I never meant to get caught, I finished for her. Yeah, I figured. Her lip trembled. Please, let's talk about this. I pulled out my phone and hit play. The hotel's security footage lit up the screen. Her walking in with Ryan, their stolen kisses, the way they clung to each other like starved lovers. Samantha gasped. You recorded us? I smiled coldly. I made sure the truth would never be denied. Tears filled her eyes, but I felt nothing. No sympathy, no pain, just the satisfying weight of justice. I turned to leave. Enjoy the room. I already checked out of our marriage. Samantha broke down in sobs as I walked away. But I didn't look back. Not this time. Not ever again. I didn't go home that night. Home didn't exist anymore, not the way I once knew it. Instead, I checked into another hotel, a different one, far away from the wreckage of my marriage. As I sat on the balcony, overlooking the city lights, my phone buzzed relentlessly. Samantha. I ignored every call, every desperate text. Please, let's talk. I made a mistake. I need you. I swear it wasn't just about him. It was never about replacing you. Please, don't do this. We can fix this. Lies, every word. She hadn't needed me when she tangled herself in another man's sheets. She hadn't hesitated when she sent him the kind of messages she used to send me. The only thing she regretted was getting caught. I blocked her. Morning arrived, and with it, the final steps of my plan. The divorce papers had already been prepared. I just hadn't needed them until now. A quick call to my lawyer ensured they would be served by noon. By the time I arrived at our house, no, her house now, Samantha was waiting outside, eyes red-rimmed, desperation written all over her face. "I know I hurt you," she started, her voice trembling. "But please, can't we talk before you make any decisions?" I didn't stop walking. "I've already made them." She grabbed my arm, her grip weak. "It was a mistake, a horrible, stupid mistake, but I love you." I turned, looking at the woman I once believed was my future. "No, you loved the comfort I gave you, the security, but you threw that away for a cheap thrill." Tears spilled down her cheeks. I was lost. I stepped back, shaking my head. "No, Samantha, you were selfish." She sobbed, falling to her knees on the driveway. "Don't do this, please." I exhaled, the last remnants of my attachment to her crumbling. "You made your choice. Now live with it." With that, I walked away. By the time I reached my car, a process server was already handing her the divorce papers. The way her face twisted in devastation almost made me pause. Almost. I drove off, the weight of the past lifting with every mile. I wasn't broken. I wasn't defeated. I was free. And that was the sweetest revenge of all.